Here are the moments I think you should know about from episode 25 of Beyond the Gates. It was the Shawnee's show. She is so excited about being in this documentary, and she was on the phone for the first part of her scenes. And then Shanice, I heard it two different ways, so that's why I'm saying it two different ways. Then Shanice decides to eavesdrop on Ashley and Andre, who decide to go to a random hallway that's right by the nurse's station. And the scenes where she was just Eve, she says she has to get off the phone to go hear what's up. And then Andre and Ashley, they're holding hands and they're like, oh, let's not make this awkward. But I mean, are they gonna bone already? And then Derek invites Andre over for dinner. You know, maybe, maybe there's gonna be a threesome, we can only dream. I don't know. It's not my dream. I don't dream of that. But, it could be a thing. Andre or Derek clearly knows Andre's into Ashley. So who knows? Maybe he's like, let's have you over for dinner. Probably not. That's probably not what's going to happen. Anyway, Shanice was the scene stealer in that whole debacle. And at the very end, she's talking to Andre about what's going on with him. She also tells Ashley there's not a vaccine for the charm that Andre's put on you. Like all these lines, I'm glad that Shanice is back. She's back from vacation. She doesn't need to use any more for PTO. Keep the nurse preceptor Shanice at the nurse's station for all the tea and all the drama. She was telling Andre, giving him advice, and he was like, well, it's personal. Can I trust you with it? And she was like, well, if it's medical, I take HIPAA seriously. But if it's not, if it's juicy gossip, I'll just tell someone and change the name. Which, oh my gosh, that's Shanice is us because literally my friends, my partner, they know everything. So there you go. That's it. That's all I have to say. No, no, no. Okay. Oh, Danny and Bill kiss. It was bound to happen. Their divorce, and the timeline in soap operas, they're always a little, wonky. But they're maybe 2 months removed from being divorced. And whenever you spend so much time with someone that you love, it makes sense. I can think back to my past relationships where my ex fiance, this isn't about my life. This is about the soap opera. But I will say, whenever my ex fiance and I decided to split up, we had some things to divide. There were a couple, well, there were properties, and we just had to like talk about things. And then I'm gonna let my cat scratch. And then, getting close, it just feels right, whenever you've been with someone for so long. And even with my ex from a long time ago, we are definitely not into each other. But whenever we've been together in these recent years as friends, there's moments where I'll slip up and say, babe, So I get it. I get why Danny and Bill kissed. I don't get why he went over there. Also, we're all team Danny. Sorry, Haley. The country club folks don't want you playing doubles tennis. Actually, go work. Why are you playing doubles tennis in the middle of the workday? Go work. And then, what about else about Danny? She, tells Chelsea, it's okay. You branch out on your own. Like, I just feel like perhaps I am taking out on you what's happening to me. So your dad dumped me, and now you're dumping me for Kat. Yeah, so they worked all that out. She was about to drink straight vodka before Bill called, and I got to tell you, I've got a whole. I do that. I've got a whole liquor cabinet over there. I've never once in my life thought to drink vodka straight, not even whenever I was in college. So, no, no. Please, I just hope she gets help. That is what actually Haley, who ran into Chelsea after Chelsea called her terrible names, said you should get your mom help because she's out of control. And really, I think this is where we're heading, like this spiral. Like Bill's over there, and she does kiss him, but he kisses her right back. And I have to imagine, they're gonna open up on the next episode, and they're gonna say, "Oh, we shouldn't have done that." So anyway, what else did I miss out on? Naomi got the women to keep up the lawsuit as opposed to settling because Bill was going to drag their name through the mud anyway and give them peanuts and pennies. Naomi actually got to meet Marcel Malone, but right after Jacob was giving him the business and telling him, don't treat me any differently, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, okay, fine. And so he doesn't even say really hi to Naomi. He's like, hey, nice to meet you. Throws money on the bar and then walks out. And then Jacob told Derek that if Andre continues messing with this girl, we're gonna beat him up because they're apparently friends. That friendship is, solidified. He said if Naomi's kind of cousin keeps on hitting on Ashley, which he is, they were holding hands, and Shanice heard her. So the moral of this episode is the whole summary of this episode is Shanice is the glue that holds the hospital together, and she knows everyone. She even mentioned Eva, and she knew Lauren. She said Lauren was laid up in this bed. I just love the writing because that's how we talk. Laid up. Lauren's laid up in this bed after that freak accident. And yeah, I think Shanice needs to be the star of the show. I think we need a spinoff of Shanice's life because I want to know what she does outside of the hospital besides being attracted to Derek and Andre because she told Ashley, whenever you break that firefighter's heart, send him my way. So she's equal opportunity. We like the swirl in this household. Anyway, I feel like I just talked about Shanice the whole video. So on that note, I've got things to do and I've got to get off of here, but I will see you tomorrow.